Let's do a wrist check. It's 1:10 p.m. Saturday 1st of March. As people will know, I'm usually in the UK, but have we got a treat for you? I've flown all the way to China. This is Dongguan, South China, and we're here today on a beautiful day to see San Martin, the famous Aliexpress watch brand. This is their building, and I'm really excited for this, to check out how they make these fantastic watches. So let's go check it out and meet the people. And here we are outside the company. Let's go inside and meet people. We're now in the main meeting room. We're going to split this into two sections. The first part will be the factory tour on how they make their watches. The second part will be a museum tour of their final products. Here we are at the quality control section. As you can see, everyone working hard. This is where all the dials are, the materials for the watches. You can see some of them on the shelves. Dial hands, glass. We'll take a closer look. Bracelets, dials. Moving on, we see some workers here checking out the dials. We're going to take a closer look. These are the dials for the SN0144. One of their newer watches.
Which model? It's a new one.
Beautiful purple dial.
0144，那是4，我要是4。
0144。
Yeah, I just
Green dial, red dials. The purpose here is to check for the dials, make sure that they are all good. And this, what this lady is doing now, is also checking the glass. Making sure there's no imperfections. This lady is going through the dial, making sure everything is good. Taking a close look at each dial.
You must need very good eyesight. He's checking the bracelet.
This lady here is checking the bracelet. Next up, we've got the accessories warehouse.
We will show you the assembly room.
Okay. It's quite interesting. You have to go through this air shower when you walk into every single one of these rooms. This gentleman is checking the watch hands. I believe this is the, I think it's the SN0118 dial, which is this black dial here. This new upgraded model.
There's more quality control as well. So this is the finished product, right? Pretty much.
This one.
Lady making sure the hands, everything is working fine, perfectly fine.
Later, we will do the final check in another one.
Okay.
Here we have the SN0118 up close. Now we're attaching the case back onto the watch dial. This lady tests the accuracy of the watches. Every watch goes through her. She tests it over 3 different directions, and you see her rotating the watch around, making adjustments as she goes along to ensure the watches keep perfect timing. This is the quality inspection room of the latter stages. This lady here pretty much has the final product. We're going to go to those machines in a second. I think first of all we're going to check out that machine on the right. Again, inspecting the watches, the final quality of these watches before they are shipped out. So here we go. She takes the bezel, and what she's doing is she's putting on this magnifying glass, check the bezel alignment. Very interesting to see. Obviously she wants to make sure everything is perfectly aligned on the watch. Let's go put it into place, and then she's going to put it on the screen so you can see with detailed accuracy how perfectly aligned this watch is. Really fascinating to see the level of detail they go into to ensure the watch is perfectly aligned and working perfectly. Here we get a better close-up of the alignment. Next up, this is a water pressure test, testing the water resistance of the watches. So basically this is a 1-minute test, and we'll come back to the results later on. Next up, you can actually load up a number of watches in these cylinders. Again, there's another water pressure test to make sure that these watches does what it says it does on the tin. Watch is already loaded up. Here we see them, and they're going to go in for the test. What it does, the red fluid at the top will rise to the top. You're going to see that in a second. So now it sort of filters out and then it rises to the top. Basically the test is, if there is a problem with the watch in terms of the water resistance, you'll see one of the tubes will be lower than the others. And here we have the original test. Two green ticks means that the watch has passed its water resistance test. And final quality inspection, making sure the hands turn well. And this is the final stock warehouse where they keep all the final end products ready to be shipped to customers worldwide. These are the shipping boxes going out direct to customers. And here we have the museum that they have, where they have all the watches that you can see. This is the latest SN0144. The blue dial is based on that teacup on the right. The design is modeled after it. The camera doesn't really capture it that well, but you know, it is a beautiful blue dial. Yeah, there you go. That probably looks a bit better. This is the SN0129, the wavy dial. I have one of these in the ice blue color. Unfortunately, they don't have that one in display here.
It's black and white gray.
These are the two latest watches. I think we saw these being by the inspection earlier on. Vintage divers. I believe this is the SN0116Bs. That's quite nice. And then these look a bit like, certainly this one looks a bit like a Rolex Submariner homage, SN0109, and a Batman. This is their sub-brand, Jang Hun. That I believe it's a new sub-brand they've launched. Nice guilloche type dial in red and black. And also, I think there's also a yellowish golden color as well. There, you see it there. Beautiful dial. And this is the Year of the Snake.
This is slightly different, isn't it?
San Martin watch.
Snakier edition.
Ah, snaky.
Yeah.
Okay.
The two dice are both glass.
Again, very new.
Glass dice.
Yes, gosh, that's...
These dials, as from the lady who tells us, you know, they are quite hard to make. Beautiful looking dials. Green dial there.
We have a snake pattern here.
At the back.
That is Roman.
Oh, yes.
See the back of the watch has a snake imprint as well. Then we've got this brown diver watch.
The heavy watches.
We have green, blue, and black before. And this is new.
This is a new colour, is it?
Yeah.
Quite beautiful looking watch, this brown one. Moving on, we've got the SN0144s. Red and orange colour. Again, the orange watch was also modelled against a teacup. diver style watches. GMT watch. These are quite cool, funky colours. And this is the Rolex homage again. Taking a closer look. Field watches. If you like what you see so far, please do give me a like and subscribe. Back to the 142s we saw earlier. Yeah, this is what the orange watch was modelled against, that teacup. Moving on, these are your older models of San Martin watches. Earlier versions. SN0087, this one. We've got a EP homage there. I guess in the earlier days, that's what they did, you know, bit of homages here and there. But more recently, you know, they have started to create their own dials and more unique designs. GMT watch, very nice and clean looking watch. It is fascinating to see so many San Martin watches all in one place.
我们之前的一些款，
好，
就是之前那些
old models.
older models. I see.
What interesting dials.
元祖啊，这个怎么说？精工款。
And I must thank the two ladies for showing me around this factory tour as well. You know, they've been fantastic, explaining how the operations work and the watches in detail.
没听懂，没听懂。
There's that guilloche dial again, which the lady did mention it was very hard to do.
是这款还是比
Again, some of the earlier timepieces that you see.
Which models have you reviewed?
I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do give me a like and subscribe. I hope to bring you more tours like this, showing you the watchmaking process of these manufacturers. It has been really fascinating for me to come on this journey. It was a bit of a trek, but you know, I think it was worth it. I certainly loved every second of it. And it's their sub brand again, the Dongguan new sub brand again. Interesting diver watches. I hope to you know, see you at the next factory tour. I'll be fascinated to go to the next one. Very eye-opening indeed. And if you do get a chance to come to South China, by all means, you know, look them up and check it out yourself. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.